Hi everybody. Welcome to my simple channel. On this occasion, I will share information about pieces of heaven that fell to earth, namely waterfalls. Curious about how history was formed and where the pieces of heaven are on earth? Without further ado, let's watch the video.
Vacationing at natural attractions can be the best way to unwind. One of the natural attractions that can be visited is a waterfall. Beautiful scenery makes our minds calm. Some waterfalls even get the title of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. Waterfalls are currently a popular tourist destination for most people. This water tour is indeed famous for its natural beauty, which soothes the heart and mind. In fact, it is not uncommon for people to come to waterfall tours just to soak. But do you know how waterfalls are created? Waterfalls can be said to be streams that fall from the highest point. Waterfalls come from water flowing down from a height through rock formations in the body of the river. In an even simpler explanation, water from a river or other body of water falls from the top of a rocky cliff into a naturally formed plunge pool below. This movement of water is due to the fact that, in essence, water will move from a high place to a lower area. So how is the pool under the waterfall formed? First, there are two layers of rock that can be eroded, namely hard rock, granite, and soft rock, sandstone. Water will generally erode the soft rock layer more than the hard rock below, forming a plunge pool. According to National Geographic, over a long period of time, river water that descends into the valley makes the waterfall grow taller. Not only that, but the plunge pool is also getting deeper because of the constant erosion of the falling river water. The collapsed rock is used as a water scraping tool to continuously erode the depths of the plunge pool. But erosion is only one of the processes that can form waterfalls. Waterfalls can also be formed due to earthquakes or landslides. According to geology, waterfalls form in young rivers. Generally, waterfalls form in the upper reaches of the river. This is where the hard rock layers lie next to the soft rock layers. Also keep in mind that the formation of waterfalls by water takes a long time and occurs naturally. Earthquakes that cause shifts in the Earth's surface are one of the reasons waterfalls form quickly. According to liver science, earthquakes that occur due to movement between Earth's plates can create faults near plate boundaries. This means that earthquakes can cause the Earth's surface to change shape, change altitude, and change rock formations. In addition to earthquakes, there are also causes for the occurrence of waterfalls, which originate from river turbulence that carves steep slopes in rock layers. Turbulence is a state of river disturbance due to unpredictable and controllable changes. After conducting several trials, it was found that the sand carried by the river's water also eroded the rock layers. Then the eroded rock layers form another river, until finally it goes to a lower place and a waterfall is formed. The protruding layers of hard rock will collapse as they are weakened by erosion and weathering and pulled down by gravity. The river water that descends into the valley will then become a waterfall, which will get higher and higher. Waterfalls are usually found in the highlands or mountains, which have steep rocks. Uniquely, the waterfall will look higher from time to time. How can this happen? As a result, if the pond or river under the waterfall gets deeper, the water level will be lower. The highest waterfall in the world is located in Venezuela, known as Angel Falls. In Spanish, Angel Falls is called Salto Angel, while the other names are Carepicupi Meru, Paracupa Meru, and Salto Churan Meru. This waterfall is located in the highlands of Guyana, in the city of Bolivar. Precisely in the area of Canaima National Park. Unlike waterfalls in general, the height of the Carepicupi Meru waterfall reaches 979 meters. In fact, the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, is only about 830 meters high. There is no standard way to classify waterfalls, but some scientists classify waterfalls based on the average volume of water that falls. One of the waterfalls on this scale is Inga Falls on the Congo River. The estimated volume of water released from Inga Falls is 25,768 cubic meters per second. Waterfalls have various types, which are usually determined by the water discharge and the width of the river. For example, block waterfalls are waterfalls that originate from wide rivers, such as Niagara in Canada. Then there is the Cascade Waterfall, which is a series of waterfalls that descend a series of stone steps and meet in a waterfall pool like the Monkey Falls waterfall in India. Furthermore, the Cataract Waterfall is a large and dangerous waterfall. The water discharge that is issued from this waterfall is also large and fast. Its flow is like the Iguazu Falls on the border of Argentina and Brazil. The hydrological cycle is the continuous movement of water on the Earth's surface, including in waterfalls. Beginning with evaporation caused by sunlight. Then the water vapor forms clouds. When the cloud reaches its saturation point in the air, the water droplets fall down and become rain on land. Then, the rain that falls in the mountain area will cause a flow of water that moves from the top to the foot of the mountain through rivers, lakes, and ditches. In practice, bodies of water, including rivers, can develop into waterfalls over a very long period of time. The water that flows in the waterfall is then obtained from the continuous outpouring of rainwater in the mountain river and then empties into the plunge pool. If the plunge pool is at the end of the stream, this indicates the water cycle will restart from that source. However, there is a waterfall that flows directly into the sea. For example, Jongbang Falls is on Jeju Island, South Korea. International Waterfall Day is celebrated annually on June 16 to celebrate beauty. Quoted from National Today, here is the history of International Waterfall Day. A waterfall is usually defined as a point in a river where water flows over a steep gorge. Because there are many types and methods used to classify waterfalls, what is meant by a waterfall is still being debated. Despite being an important part of human life and history, waterfalls have not been widely studied, although Alexander von Humboldt wrote about them in the 1820s. There is no specific name for the specific field of waterfall research, but the name commonly used in studying waterfalls is waterfallology. In 1493, Christopher Columbus wrote about Carbet Falls in Guadeloupe, which may be the first recorded waterfall that a European saw in America. However, geographer Brian J. Hudson argues that the waterfall's name in particular didn't become common until the 18th century. This trend, in particular, of Europeans naming waterfalls follows the increase in people's scientific focus on nature at the time, the rise of Romanticism, and the increased importance of hydropower because of the Industrial Revolution. However, European explorers often abandoned the name originally given by the natives to this waterfall in favor of a more European name. Waterfalls are visited by people in droves mainly because they are a great tourist spot, not only because they are beautiful but also because they are relatively uncommon. History of waterfalls. 1. Late 1600s, St. Anthony Belgian missionary Louis Hennepin visits North America and gives an early description of Niagara Falls and St. Anthony's Falls. 2. 1884, waterfallology, geologist William Morris Davis, known as the father of American geography, wrote and published the earliest papers on waterfalls. 3. November 16, 1933, Jimmy Angel sees Angel Falls. American aviator Jimmy Angel flew over the falls now known as Angel Falls while on a flight searching for beds of valuable ore. 4. March 9, 2006, exploration continues. The Gocta Cataract, an eternal waterfall with 2 drops located in Bongara, Peru, was first announced to the world. The most beautiful waterfall in the world. 1. Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. It is located between the United States and Canada. Besides being beautiful, Niagara Falls is also known as the largest waterfall in the world. A group of 3 waterfalls located in Niagara Canyon, which is located on the border between Ontario, Canada, and the state of New York, United States. The largest of these falls is the Canadian Falls, which form the border between the 2 countries. The smaller ones, American Falls and Bridal Veil, are located in the United States. Bridal Veil Falls is separated from Canadian Falls by Goat Island and American Falls by Luna Island, both located in the state of New York. Flowing north as part of the Niagara River, which drains Lake Erie into Lake Ontario, the 3 of them have the largest water discharge in North America at more than 50 meters high. 2. Snoqualmie Falls. Another waterfall that is called the most beautiful waterfall is Snoqualmie Falls. This waterfall is west of Seattle at the foot of Cacase Hill. Snoqualmie Falls is often featured in TV shows or movies, thereby increasing its popularity. It is one of Washington's most popular scenic attractions and is known internationally. Most of the river is diverted to power plants, but sometimes it is high enough to flow across entire cliffs, producing nearly blinding sprays. High water occurs after a period of heavy rain or snow followed by warm, rainy weather. This can occur during the rainy season, which lasts from November to March. During high water, the waterfall is shaped like a curtain. For the Snoqualmie people, who have lived since time immemorial in the Snoqualmie Valley in western Washington, Snoqualmie Falls is central to their culture, beliefs, and spirituality. A traditional burial site, according to Snoqualmie, this waterfall is where the first woman and first man were created by Moon the Transformer, and where prayers were brought to the Creator by a great mist rising from a powerful stream. The mist that rises from the bottom of the waterfall is said to serve to connect heaven and earth. 3. Victoria Falls. Victoria Falls is also included among the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. The beautiful and amazing scenery makes Victoria Falls often referred to as a rival to Niagara Falls. Victoria Falls is located on the Zambezi River between Zambia and Zimbabwe. 4. Multnomah Falls. The most beautiful waterfall in the world is Multnomah Falls. This waterfall is in the Columbia River Gorge. Multnomah Falls is about 542 feet high. The beauty of this waterfall is that it is a terraced waterfall that is split into two. Apart from that, the right and left sides of Multnomah Falls are also overgrown with green trees, which make the scenery more beautiful. The land around the falls was developed by Simon Benson in the early 20th century, with a trail, a viewing bridge, and an adjacent hut being built in 1925. The Multnomah Falls Inn and trails around the falls were added to the National Register of Waterfalls. Currently, the state of Oregon maintains a switchover that climbs up a talus slope 100 feet, 30 meters, above the falls and descends to an observation deck overlooking the edge of the falls. This waterfall attracts more than 2 million visitors annually. 5. Manawaiopuna Waterfall. Manawaiopuna Falls is also the most beautiful waterfall in the world. This waterfall became very famous after appearing in the film Jurassic Park. In the film, this waterfall is also known by the name Jurassic Falls. This beautiful waterfall is about 360 feet high and is located on the island of Kauai, Hawaii. Manawaiopuna Waterfall is better known as Jurassic Falls because it was featured in the film Jurassic Park. 6. Yosemite Falls. Besides being the tallest waterfall in the world, Yosemite Falls is also included in the group of the most beautiful waterfalls ever. Uniquely, this waterfall will only flow from November to July, with the peak of the flow in May. The high cliffs beside the waterfall make the view of Yosemite Falls even more beautiful. This waterfall is in Yosemite National Park, California, in South America. 7. Detian Falls. The next most beautiful waterfall is Detian Falls. This waterfall has the characteristics of an Asian natural panorama, with water flowing between the rocks and rice fields on the right and left sides. If you see this waterfall, you can feel the fresh and beautiful atmosphere. The location of this beautiful waterfall is on the border of China and Vietnam. 8. Kilt Rock Waterfall. Kilt Rock Waterfall is the most beautiful waterfall in the world because the water flows over a steep cliff on the Trotonish Peninsula. The location of this waterfall is between Portree and Staffen. The beautiful view of the cliffs combined with the swift flow of the waterfall is guaranteed not to be boring to look at. 9. Burney Falls. This waterfall is located in McArthur-Burney National Park, California. Burney Falls is known as the eighth wonder of the world. This waterfall has a height of about 129 feet and an average volume of water reaching 100 million gallons per day. 10. Angel Falls. The highest waterfall in the world also has a view that is no less beautiful than other waterfalls. Angel Falls is located in Venezuela. Angel Falls is located deep in a tropical rainforest. Because of its location in a remote area, this waterfall is often shrouded in fog. But during the day, if you are lucky, you will see a beautiful and amazing view. 11. Gullfoss Falls. Gullfoss Falls, or Golden Falls, is also one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. This waterfall is located in Iceland. Golden Falls is a combination of two waterfalls that slide on the right and left. In the evening and during the summer, you have the chance to see a beautiful rainbow. The rainbow appears from a splash of thin mist from this waterfall. 12. Iguazu Falls. This waterfall is also included in the list of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. It is located on the border of Brazil and Argentina. Iguazu Falls is a combination of 275 small waterfalls that make the scenery very beautiful. 13. Havasu Falls. Havasu Falls is also one of the most beautiful waterfalls in the world. The beauty of this waterfall is surrounded by red rocks, with water flowing into turquoise waters. When you come to the location of this waterfall, you can hear the roar of the water falling on the rock. 14. Ban Geok Detian Waterfall. This waterfall is located on the border of Vietnam and China. It is located on a karst hill in Daxing Country, Chongzhou City, Guangxi Province, China. The location of this waterfall is adjacent to the Trung Ca area in Cao Bang Province, Vietnam. It is about 272 kilometers from the national capital. This series of waterfalls has a height of about 30 meters. A beautiful series because the water in this waterfall series is separated by rocks and trees, making the view from this place very beautiful. Icy Falls is one of the largest waterfalls in Asia, because the series has a width of 200 meters and 3 waterfall flow ladders. In addition, the Ban Geoc Detian waterfall is also listed as the fourth largest waterfall after the Iguazu, Victoria, and Niagara waterfalls. 15. Puente de Dios waterfall. The Puente de Dios waterfall is a waterfall where the water falls and immediately forms a lake that looks beautiful. Located in Amasopo, San Luis Potosi, Mexico. The charm of this waterfall really makes people fall in love with it when they see it. Because the flow of water is blue, people who come there can't stand to swim in it right away. In this waterfall complex, there are also several parts that are no less good. The place is like a narrow ravine, and there is also an underwater cave that is usually used for swimming. 16. Tumpak Sewu waterfall. This waterfall is located in the area of Lumajang Regency, East Java Province, Indonesia. Nature explorers may be familiar with this waterfall because of its beauty and exoticism. Not only domestic people but even many foreigners come to see this beautiful waterfall. Even though the journey is long and very tiring, everything will pay off when you see the panorama from the Tumpak Sewu waterfall. 17. Triple Falls. Located in one of the Glacier National Parks in the USA, Triple Falls waterfall is one of the prima donnas that is often visited by tourists. The uniqueness of the waterfall creates a beautiful impression that makes people want to stay there. Called the Triple Falls because there are 3 springs that fall in one place. There we can see directly, plus if you come when the sun rises, you will get an amazing view that will never be forgotten. The beauty of the flowing water refracts the sun's light, and you can see the mountain with the golden light emanating from the faint light coming out from behind the mountain. 18. Sutherland Falls. Sutherland Falls is one of the highest and also the most beautiful waterfalls in the world, located in New Zealand, more precisely Milford Sound, South Island. Having a height of about 580 meters makes this waterfall look exotic from a distance. Not only that, but this waterfall has a view that is no less cool when viewed from below. Many tourists capture it through the tower and also from under the waterfall itself. In various parts of the world, there are many amazing natural waterfalls. Among the most famous are Niagara Falls on the border of the United States and Canada, Victoria Falls on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe, and Angel Falls in Venezuela. These 3 waterfalls are hailed as the largest and highest waterfalls in the world, with their amazing and dangerous swift currents. Even so, in other countries, there are still a series of waterfalls that, although not as big as Niagara and Victoria, have a uniqueness that is second to none. There are those that keep the embers of eternal fire, and there are also those that are red like blood. One of them is even in Indonesia. 1. Mersala Waterfall, Indonesia. Mersala Waterfall is a tourist attraction on Mersala, an island located between Sumatra and Nias Island. This waterfall has its own uniqueness because the flow of water does not fall into a river or pond but directly leads to the blue sea. The reddish granite cliff where it flows is sloping like the slope of a hill, unlike most waterfall cliffs, which have a slope of almost 180 degrees. 2. Izvorul Biga. Romania. Izvorul Biga is one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Romania as well as one of the most unique waterfalls in the world. According to Wikipedia, this waterfall is located on the southwest border of Romania, precisely in the Hiela Nere Biesnisa National Park, which inhabits the southern part of the Anina Mountains in Caras-Severin County. The specialty of Izvorul Biga is the unusual pattern of water falling, spreading, and falling in small droplets like drizzling rain. Izvorul Biga's water comes from a spring river that originates in a cave on the hill and then flows to the 8-meter-high Izvorul Biga cliff, which is covered with a layer of green moss before finally falling and joining the Minis River below. 3. Plitvice Falls. Croatia. Plitvice Lakes is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Croatia and is part of the Nationalni Park Plitvica Jezera, or in Indonesian, the Plitvice Lakes National Park. In this lake, there are dozens of waterfalls that flow between steep cliffs covered with moss and green plants. According to Lonely Planet, dozens of small waterfalls in Plitvice end in clear lakes the color of turquoise stone, which are the confluence of several small rivers and underground rivers. The lakes are separated by a kind of dam that forms naturally from sediments of dead plants, mosses, algae, and bacteria. 4. Eternal Flame Falls. United States of America. The name of this unique waterfall is Eternal Flame Falls, aka Eternal Flames Waterfall. As the name implies, behind the flow of this beautiful waterfall are small embers. The embers as big as a candle flame occur because of a phenomenon that triggers a natural gas leak under the waterfall. This fire is not really eternal. Even though it can burn for a long time, the embers behind the flow of this waterfall can be extinguished. It's just that usually there are visitors who take the initiative to turn it on again. Even so, the fire burning near the waterfall is still a phenomenon that is not easy to find. 5. Asik Waterfall. Philippines. Asik is the name of an amazing waterfall in the Philippines, in Alameda, North Cotabato, to be precise. What makes this waterfall unique is that the water does not flow from the highland river but gushes from the cracks of the cliff edges, which are covered in greenery. So at first glance, it looks as if a waterfall is magically escaping from between the vegetation. According to the Holiday Homer Times website, the water from the Asik waterfall is known to be clear and has healing properties. Because of that, many visitors drink it without cooking it first. 6. Blood Falls. Antarctica. The Blood Waterfall on the Antarctic ice sheet is a rare natural phenomenon. The outpouring of this waterfall is red, like a river of blood flowing through the snow. This blood-like flow turned out to be melted ice with a high salt content flowing from the Taylor Glacier in eastern Antarctica. Initially, the red color of the waterfall was thought to be due to a type of red algae, but later it was discovered that the water there contains high levels of iron.
That's all for the discussion video about waterfalls this time. Hopefully this video can add to my personal insight and that of all my waterfall friends. Maybe after watching this video, there are several waterfalls that you can add to your list of places to go. Hopefully you can go there in the near future, be able to return safely, and bring a feeling of satisfaction and happiness because you have enjoyed the pieces of heaven that fell to earth. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to this video and channel. Hopefully, sharing can be an additional reward and source of knowledge for other friends. Thank you.